Hello, everybody, and welcome to another wonderful night of Frank's retirement home Smite game going on here. It's Vibe Tribe versus Ice Age, Kane's division. I'm Freaky G, joined here by the always well known and well known. We'll just stick with that ruler of men. We got one heck of a game here tonight. It's Vibe Tribe versus Ice Age, like I already said. There's a lot going on here with this one.
Yeah, definitely a lot going on here. As you know, these teams trying to struggle their way back up the list, try to get themselves out of Gauntlet.
So, and then that's one of the things I was actually looking at the standings earlier. So, interestingly enough, Vibe Tribe is trying to maintain their safety net that is basically them not going to uh, the gauntlet. Ice Age has a chance to play spoiler here because even if they were to win, Killer Kappa is getting that, or Gunshow Shogun's getting that 2-0 earlier this week against the Gunshow Shoguns. Did I say that wrong? Yeah, I did. Killer Kappas. Good God. Uh, Means that there's no way Ice Age is going to be able to get out of this. They're stuck here, but they can at least possibly knock Vibe Tribe down and put Gunshow up in points to keep them out of the gauntlet instead. So Ice Age is just looking to make Vibe Tribe's life a little bit more miserable.
Yeah. If I can't escape the mud, I'm dragging you down into it with me.
Mhm.
Got decent bands coming out, nothing too crazy. Bologna, Hachi, Cuckoo. Sun
Yeah.
Wukong's a little bit of an interesting pick. That's got to be a little bit more targeted, not something you see every day.
Absolutely not. Especially with so many of the meta shifts that we've seen with this current patch and the solo lane especially. Sun Wukong is very surprising, but he's still, I think, one of those warriors that just does well no matter what the meta is. He just has that survivability.
Yeah, he's definitely in a position where he doesn't lose lane, but he doesn't win it unless you're building full damage and you're getting active. So definitely interesting band there, but not too interesting. Is this Osiris Hover then lock? I
Hmm.
don't hate the Osiris. I think that kind of gets countered by Xing Qian, who I think is kind of pretty strong right now. But have fun in your solo lane. You get to hit stuff.
Yeah. And I mean, that is one thing about this current shift in this patch that we're on is that even though Guardians are much stronger and we're seeing them take dominance in the solo lane now, these auto attack warriors, they still hold their own pretty well.
Oh yeah, they can still do plenty. I mean, Conduit is good, but Bauble's pretty good. But at the same time, you can absolutely still play those warriors. It's not too big of a deal there. Terra getting locked in. Terra did get a nice little buff. Gets the
Hmm.
dash at level 1. Doesn't do any damage, but allows her to combo with her other abilities. So pretty substantial buff in her early game. So not too surprising seeing her getting picked up here.
Yeah, and especially with the changes, finally gets that early clear ability now. So doesn't have to worry about struggling to clear camps, clear lane, like you said. Not surprising to see her get picked up in Kane's division, especially with the changes to her. So another character also not surprising to get picked up is this on her. He's been teeter tottering with about 3 or 4 different ADCs for top slot ADC here recently, and he's kind of maintained that position of basically, you know, how are you feeling about ADCs is really which one you think is top slot.
Yeah, are you trying to scale for late game? You're probably looking at the Hachi. Are you looking to be just aggressive in the laning phase, but maybe not as impactful late game? You go for the on her, and then kind of have that Ishtar as your middle ground. Ganesha picked up here, trying to do a little bit of something. Don't let Tara do whatever she wants, but gonna have to be careful. If she has a standing stone down, Ganesha's not going to be able to use that 3 to go ahead and get that knock up. So gonna have to be a little bit wary about that. Gonna be missing some of the CC you might think you have.
You definitely got to pay attention to this Terra in the laning phase and maybe even in the later portions of the game. ADCs, back to the topic. Back to the top of the topic once again. X Ball getting picked up in that third slot for Vibe Tribe here. That's not a surprise either, really. I mean, ADCs at this point, we've really got to lock down on what's good and what's not. And there's about, like we said, 4, maybe 5, depending on who you are, ADCs right now that really compete in that top spot. And Hachi's just kind of the permaban at this point. So X-Ball on her. This is a matchup we've seen time and time again, but what we haven't seen much of until recently with some changes to the meta is Odin pick.
Yeah, Odin definitely seeing a pretty big rise in popularity. I mean, he brings so much to a team fight with that cage, but as the solo laners and supports start experimenting with that bauble, he's really strong. You're in solo lane, you get a sundering axe, you're getting a bunch of health back from that. You have a shield up every, I think it's like 5 seconds when you have bauble. It's something just ridiculous. So
Hmm.
can really get just a lot of survivability, a lot of cages, and just a very strong character right now. I mean, you can put him in 3 roles: solo, support, jungle. I think what was it, Gun Show that had the
Hmm.
really good Odin jungle game. I want to say Fatty Dakin
Yes,
was on it. Yeah.
he played
So
phenomenally on this Odin jungle pick.
so yeah, definitely a very flexible pick right now.
As we watch these second rounds of bans, one thing that's really pointing out to me at the moment is that there's a very heavy selection on the mage category, probably due in part to that bobble, but even more so the fact that a lot of those flat pin itemizations that these mages prefer that they're getting banned have been buffed to oblivion and back.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a really big fan of the shift away from Thoth, taking some power off that and giving it to some of those flat pen items, and mages are pretty strong right now.
Hmm.
Still, maybe not the strongest person on the map. A lot of the times the EDC late game is gonna be able to put out more DPS, or the jungles has a little bit more burst, but definitely Mage is very strong right now. Hunbots and Discordia locked in. I love Hunbots right now. The quality of
Hmm.
life change to his 3, making it a little bit more responsive, is a game changer.
Yeah, not to mention Bobble being buffed definitely brings this god back into the meta. Always been one of his biggest struggles as a god. His level 5, he has an ultimate. You're probably not going to see him use it again until he's like level 7, and you have to guarantee that kill. But late game, this god at 40% CDR, absolutely insane. Numbers, not huge damage numbers, but most of all, that Fear No Evil ultimate is going to come and pay dividends to you. But now with Bobble, 50% CDR, that's going to knock that cooldown to I don't know, doing the math real quickly in my head, probably about 65 seconds at minimum.
Yeah, definitely lets him get it up a little bit more frequently. Doesn't hurt him too bad. Still a tough item to slot. It certainly can be done, but right now what I'm looking at is the massive team fight presence that Ice Age has here. You have
Hmm.
Odin to lock people in a cage. You have the Terra ultimate to add a little bit of burst damage on top of them. Hunbot's ult again, just big circle inside of a cage, and rounding it off with a Poseidon. Got the
Yeah.
massive cripple, got the big Kraken. That is a scary team to fight with,
Oh yeah.
although they struggle in the early game. A lot of
Hmm.
those gods are pretty scaly, except for that on her. So if they're able to, keep this early game pretty close, should be pretty frightening. But I could see them getting snowballed.
It could. Yeah, I completely agree. It could definitely happen, and but I feel like that's kind of what the game's gone towards with this recent patch. You know, these changes to the mage items, these more steam, these not steam really, excuse me, these more slow rolling mages that take a little bit to get online. Their itemization's not giving them huge power banks, but their cooldowns having all these different status effects procking as they go. That's what you're waiting for. And Odin, of course, Hunbots, of course, falls into that point of discussion as well. Of we don't have the strongest early game, but if you let us get to level 20, we're going to be the most terrifying thing in the game, and you will have to respect us at that point. And that's exactly what Ice Age have gone for. Just the most you have to look for me kind of composition at the very least.
Yeah, definitely going to have a little bit of an upper hand on those late game fights, but at the same time, you look at that Vibe Tribe draft, and they have a pretty strong early game with that Osiris, with that Camazotz. pretty decent mid game, with the Xbalanque. So I mean, they definitely have a lot of aspects covered, and I
Mhm.
think that if they're able to get that lead, it'll be very hard for Ice Age to take it back.
I'm gonna point it out too because I'm kind of surprised that we're not seeing much of it being done in the jungle, but not just with Bobble, but Soul Eater actually caught what I would consider to be a pretty substantial buff to itself as well. That I was expecting more of these lifesteal style jungles like Camazotz to come out of the woodworks, more Lancelots, more Pele's, more Klinas, those to that degree. Why is it that we're not seeing those instead of the other options that are available?
I mean, right now, a lot of the better junglers are able to do just a little bit more for their team compared to those picks. I mean, Cleo doesn't offer too much, has the silence, but isn't really offering a lot to a team fight, Can definitely get things done, but it's more like you're coming in on the back of a team fight. So I think a lot of these teams are just going more towards something that's, yep, I'm going to be able to get in there at second one, get what I need to done, and if I die, I die. It doesn't matter.
Hmm. I'm gonna get these cooldowns off, and we're gonna see what happens after.
I'm
Exactly
gonna
what we're
press my
gonna.
buttons. If I don't get a second rotation, it ain't the end of the world. Gotta hope the team follows up on it.
True ranked mentality here. Just I'm gonna throw my ult, and if we win the team fight, cool. I did something. If we lose the team fight, well, it's not my fault.
Oh
And
no, that's the opposite of ranked. I'm playing my KDA all day in ranked. I
oh,
ain't dying for nothing. Out of your mind. That's why you ain't high in ranked. You gotta
hey,
play
hey, hey.
you gotta play like nobody else on your team has fingers. You know, I'm the only one
Well,
with brain cells. I gotta be getting this done.
that's a fair assessment. I think you're right. Probably need to rely less on my team in these ranked games in the future. Calling me out on cast. Thank you.
It is.
Oh
It's
man.
something that's like hard to break as a habit when you come
Hmm.
from like playing comp because I was big in comp before I started playing ranked, and it's a thing that you have to unlearn. You can't be like the team player in ranked. You just have to like look for picks that you can get and go from there. So pretty different play
Already.
style here. Ganesha and Xbalanque putting up a ton of pressure over here in the duo lane.
Yeah, and already seeing this Ganesha pick and what it was made for. Terra couldn't get that dash off, so no damage off that 3 means it just gets to heal up those two in that lane for now. And I would normally say this is the lane I'm looking at, but to be honest, I'm kind of think we know how this lane's going to go. What I'm more interested in is this lane over here, this solo lane. We get to see a god that we haven't seen in the meta for a very long time versus a god who has had a substantial impact in the meta.
Yeah, Osiris definitely still pretty strong, really hard to box in the early game, can get a lot done. Ooh, Poseidon in a bit of danger here.
A bit of danger indeed. Dot's pretty good for it, and Profound Sock will find first blood in this Vibe Tribe versus Ice Age game. Not surprising at all. That early game damage from him is insane.
Yeah, Camazot's damage definitely very strong, and Poseidon just doesn't have the escape to be pushing up that far. Has the
Mm-hmm.
beads, but what's he gonna do? Press 2 to get a little bit of movement speed? He doesn't have a dash like Discordia to really get himself out of danger, so steps up a little bit too far and immediately gets punished for it.
And not even just that. It's like, look at this right here. Immediately, Novashark going to pick the kill up, but Camazot's doing all the damage there. Profound Sock making a quick rotation over on this one. But it's that right there. It's that deceptive damage that you see off of a Camazot so often. He just kind of sneaks it up on you. You don't expect him to come into the lane like that, and then suddenly you're down to 25% health on one ability rotation.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of that comes from his first ability. You get the echo back, and it gives you a little bit of power, and that little bit of power makes a big difference in the early
Mm-hmm.
game.
I'm not entirely sure the numbers, but I'm pretty sure it's like a 15% power buff or something. It's a pretty good number. But we'll get a look here from our
15
fantastic
power.
man here. 15. Oh, it's just a straight up power buff. I
Yeah,
thought
yeah,
it was
just
a
straight
percentage
power.
buff.
No.
See?
They
Something
did
I
away with
didn't
most
know.
of the percentages stuff.
That's true. That's true. Anyways, with the stats being adjusted, or with the stats being searched there, we get to see a little bit more action over in the duo lane once again. And this Terra right now, Mammoth getting poked out quite a bit. But that's not what this god's here for. You're picking when you pick a Terra. I would almost say it's kind of like picking a Geb, right? You're kind of opting to lose the laning phase, at least in the first 5 minutes, to have a way better team fight presence, right?
I mean, with her new buff, her clear isn't that bad. Just kind of a tough matchup into the Ganesha who can just decide she can't combo those abilities to get that extra damage.
Mm-hmm.
Like she definitely can have some early pressure. She's obviously not a Sylvanas or something that's insane in the early game, but certainly passable. Just tough matchup, support versus support, where I can just cancel out most of your damage.
Right. Any god with a silence like that, especially one that channels for so long, yeah, it's a difficult one to deal with. One matchup we haven't really discussed here, wouldn't even call it a matchup. I think these guys are gonna content to farm and stay away from each other, though. Well, maybe not. Correct me now. But these two right here in the mid, this Poseidon versus Disco, it's something to look for if we don't see Green Dragon just get dumpstered over here by his side camp. Very unfortunate turn of events.
Walked into the sight line of a Camazotz and Profound Sock said, "Ooh, can't be having that."
Oh, you're within my vision range? Let me fix that.
Oh, you're in Blink Oneing range? That's tough. Guess you're gonna have to get Blink One. And low health Poseidon doesn't survive that one.
Ooh, we might finally see some action from the other jungle in this game. If he didn't walk over a ward, how unfortunate for him. Maybe not even a ward. I don't even see a ward on the map. I think that might have just been a good call out from the mid lane to get them backed up.
I think
No
it might have been a
action,
little
man.
bit more of the misplay from Ice Age there, going for
Oh,
we're gonna push up because we have a teammate here. Turtle used, but Profound Sock gonna pick up both kills.
so you think it was a telegraphed approach from Ice Age?
I do, yeah. They stepped up to look for the fight, before their jungler was in position enough.
We'd finally see the Fear No Evil, but it may be to the detriment of Death the King, as the mid laner from Ice Age has also decided to rotate over. Unfortunate that Apple of Discord doesn't connect. Dot damage may end up being enough. Doesn't matter if it is, because he's going to finish it with the jump. 4-0 is the jungle of Vibe Tribe. He is absolutely killing it right now. Beads, as you said, does not save you from that slow. Camazotz will run you down regardless. And it's a 5-0 jungle within the first 6 minutes of this game for Vibe Tribe.
Yeah, definitely strong performance coming out of Profound Sock, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's usually their solo laner. So, he's I've all the games I've seen him on that solo, he's played like
Yeah.
full damage assassin. So, does not surprise me that he is this comfortable in the jungle.
Yeah, I think this might actually be something that this team probably discussed. Said, hey, Big Blue, why don't you go to solo, man? Let me try this out and see if maybe this is what the team needs. And I think it might be what the team needed, was these guys to just make a quick role swap. I mean, even to Big Blue's credit, he did very well in the jungle when he was playing that role. Here he is now, though, in solo, and granted, the matchup's not entirely in his favor, but it seems to be doing pretty well.
Yeah, about to say. I mean, Profound Sock's looking great, and if your solo laner's even while your jungler's absolutely slamming, then I think that's a wonderful swap up from him.
Camazotz may have finally found his doom here. Has the ultimate, though, so maybe I'm just the fool for believing when Humbot's jump just doesn't connect, doesn't wait long enough. 2 comes out. Fear No Evil finally comes off of cooldown, and that's what it takes to take down the mighty jungle of Vibe Tribe with his first death in this game.
Yeah, getting a little too greedy, gets trapped in the Odin cage, takes a bunch of damage, and then I think he might have been able to get out, but feeling a little risky, feeling a little frisky. Goes ahead, tries to throw the 2 to get some healing, and just doesn't pay off. Gives Hunbots just the time to close that distance.
That's a pretty big shutdown, too. 5-0. That's a very nice gold bounty for Ice Age as well. So I think Death the King is very happy to have gotten that last hit there, and I think all of Ice Age in general is probably just happy to see him go down now instead of later. So I'm getting something from production here as well. Apparently that actually lowered the personal gold deficit from 1,000 gold to 500 between these two jungles as well. So yeah, that's a pretty big deal for Death.
Yeah, that's definitely a big shutdown for sure. And I mean, you know, gotta love Profound, just completely unaffected. Oh, you killed me.
Completely
That's cool.
un.
I'm running right back at you.
Ooh, Libra will connect that apple though to bring Death the King back to the gray screen. Huge fight in mid, and Big Blue finding that solo kill onto Vivi after struggling throughout the early portions of this match.
Yeah, able to bring that one down, and I wouldn't pretty survivable, but Osiris is just so capable of just running you down. Do see him
Mhm.
expend the ult to go ahead and grab that kill, so he's able to get it done. Good for him.
So here we go, finding ourselves in that 10-minute mark, kind of reaching that mid-game portion. Vibe Tribe has a substantial lead in the kill column right now. Gold difference only sitting about 3,000, XP about 4. So Vibe Tribe have leads other than just in the kill column, clearly. But
Yeah, I mean
oh
three
yeah,
K at 9 minutes. It's pretty substantial. This is
yeah.
the point where you're able to kind of say, okay, we're ahead. We're gonna take a fight in mid. We're gonna take a fight in duo, and then we're gonna go for the gold fury. This is where it starts to be scary. This is where it gets real, and they're able to push that lead into something else, push it into a gold fury, a pyromancer that isn't even close to spawning yet.
Well, but hear me out. Ice Age, we already established, has that late game composition. If they're able to transition this game to the late game like they should, we go, as we discussed, 3K gold deficit doesn't really sound like it's too much to worry about, right?
I mean, at 10 minutes, that's a pretty substantial one. I certainly wouldn't be feeling too good about it, especially just
Mm,
with how well Profound Sock has been playing. Been
yeah,
where his team needs to. I don't think he's had an unsuccessful gank yet, so gonna have to see Ice Age play a little bit better around him.
for sure. And I mean, Death the King already taking that bounty off of him earlier, and getting to this mid game portion, we know that these team fights are going to start brewing around these objectives more and more. And Ice Age, I think, have the tools to deal with this Camazotz. Maybe not get kills consistently because Camazotz has the ability to also just get out of situations that he shouldn't find himself alive in. A little bit of a trade there in the solo lane. Just Big Blue flexing his muscles on Vivi once more. But yeah, like I was saying, these team fights still look like they can be in favor of Ice Age in the right situations. A good turnaround, though. But there's the ultimate that I was talking about. Camazotz does not decide to go for the kill in the end. He's still trapped here, though.
No.
Does try to get it, but Death the King will take advantage of that blink whiff. Ultimate comes out from the disco, doesn't connect, and now she's taking a little bit of damage in return. Stops that dash through, but Libra walks back into it for some reason. Maybe just trying to find a way out, but here's the carry now. Who's going to try and find this kill for the mid lane. Novashark finds this kill, but takes an ultimate and a stun. Libra goes down to low for life, and it's carries finding kills on mids on both sides.
Yeah, unfortunate. Profound not able to get that trade out. It was the only chance he had. Doesn't have enough tools to get away from this on her, so it was the right call. Just unfortunately, blinks past him by like an inch and isn't able to grab that hit.
Tough situation for sure. I'm sure he's kicking himself in the pants for that one. Beacon spawned though, and it looks like Vibe Tribe are going to be in prime position to at least stack up on this and start charging it up for themselves.
Yeah, do have the solo laner hopping into the mid lane, making sure this is going to go the way of the Vibe Tribe. No contestation, and I can't blame him.
Love how they're dealing with this Terra. They just consistently keep her from using any of her abilities at any point. And I mean, the level deficit is showing fairly prominently. She was just at 9, now finally hitting 10. I think Mammoth might be feeling the effects of this Ganesh pick into him.
Yeah, definitely not having the best of times, but again, Terra able to scale up pretty well. And we see Hunbots, like you're talking about, going into that bauble. Already building that tier 1 mystical earring. So, going to be looking to get that ult off pretty quickly, but most likely not going to finish, his 50% cooldown until he's at level 20 with that upgraded starter. So, don't know if I would be building bauble this early.
It seems like a bit of a troll, I will agree. But what I do think he's also getting out of it is he's at least getting that MP5. Not that Humbots is the most mana-hungry character in the world, especially since he's got that Hydra's online now. But just a little bit stat stick added. Stat sticks don't matter, though, when you're dead, and that's why Green Dragon doesn't get to take advantage of any of the things in his build right now. Terra looking like a fresh target right after the death of his own mid laner. Stops that dash for only a moment, but just not enough damage on the back end to clean him up, but still a kill onto the Poseidon. 0-5. Green Dragon is definitely feeling this game.
Yeah, definitely not having a good time. You know, not seeing quite as many wards as I might like in the mid lane, and just seems like he's just getting caught out all the time. You know, walks forward a little bit and just instantly gets punished by Vibe Tribe, and that's what they need to do. You know, they're seeing their opportunity and they're making sure that they're able to do what they need to do.
Love what I'm seeing here. Camazot's just doing a little bit of zone work. He's still going to try and come in. Vibe tried to confirm it, just out of range of that Fear No Evil. Great job from Profound Sock to keep him from getting close enough to steal that away. And it's a Gold Fury going over to Vibe Tribe to extend that already detrimental gold lead.
Yeah, definitely good play from Profound Sock, making sure that that Death can't get in there to drop the Fear No Evil right on the Fury and look to be able to take it for himself. Do love it though. You know, it still breaks past, gets pretty close to putting it down in the right spot, even with the Shivalanke ulting.
Wow, it's the 2-level down on her that's trying to take these trades. Finally pops the Aegis, the minion wave, body blocking that kill, but that means Nova Shark has to return home for a little bit of healing. Maybe not. He's seeing something. He feels like he's got an opportunity here, maybe. And it's because of this right here. He's got a Camazotz, a massive Camazotz at that. Trying to get close enough. Blink, 1, 2 doesn't connect. Leap does, and Profound Sock finds his 6th kill of the game. It's everything with this guy. He's getting kills. He's doing zoning. He's invading a purple buff in front of 2 people. I mean, at this point, Profound Sock can do no wrong in my eyes.
Yeah, no, he's definitely playing it well. I mean, do see him use the oldest jungler trick in the book. You blink in first, you keep your movement. As soon as they jump, you jump after them. Just perfectly played on that on her gank.
A little bit of pressure on this disco, seeing 2 members here, but nothing I think Libra is not prepared to deal with. And with Gold Fury already being down, obviously the next thing we need to look at is Pyromancer, right? It's right there. We have this lead. It's pretty easy objective to take down if you're playing it right.
Yeah, it definitely should be the next target, you know, give them a little bit more something as the, you know, start to push this gold lead, already up to around 5k, so definitely getting it done, making sure that lead is going to be pretty big when it comes into that, you know, 25, 30-minute mark where Ice Age is really going to start coming into stride.
Look at this right here, Big Blue. This is not something we see very often anymore, is that proxying waves in solo lane. The map growth has just made it very difficult for something like that to happen, but he doesn't seem to mind. He's going to take his chances being that far up on enemy territory.
Yeah,
with all tier
BB
1s being
paying
up.
the price too. Losing a full wave for that tower, going to be missing out on quite a bit of farm there.
Osiris Ult comes out to dodge any more of that damage. Tried to take the tier 1 on his own, but Ice Age was having none of it. Looking like a good opportunity to try and take the Osiris down, but that old, I don't remember the name of that ultimate, do you?
Lord of the Afterlife?
Yeah, that's it, Lord of the Afterlife. It doesn't matter, because over in the duo lane, Nova Shark finds a solo kill. Fantastic carpet there from Disco. Going to get some more damage put out as we see the beacon coming up. It looks like we're going to see a 4v4 for the beacon. Jungles are here. Osiris gets stunned by the Terra. Odin stepping forward, and the Apple of Discord actually bounces back onto the Odin. Can't jump away. Ganesh gets a fantastic Dharmic Pillars onto 3 while Camazotz flies through the air. Going to make all of Ice Age retreat, except for the Terra, who's just trying to play up and trying to be the distracting factor. Falls very low, still walks out with her life, but a beacon goes over to Vibe Tribe a second time, and it looks like we're going over to this Pyromancer after that too.
Yeah, just good fights, you know, taking it on multiple fronts. They separate. Oh, Profound is just gonna run into their enemy speed buff and grab that. You earned that, Death. You earned that one.
Yeah, you're definitely not hating the play there, especially since it pulls all of Ice Age's main steal potential characters away from the objective. So a little bit of a double play, if you will, even if that wasn't Profound Sock's intentions.
Yeah, definitely, take somebody off the map. Sure. You don't want to die, but at the same time, you're getting the Pyromancer, you're still getting some farm even when you're on the gray screen, so can't feel too bad about it.
We continue into the later portions of this game. These builds starting to line out, and one thing I just realized, I've kind of been keeping an eye on it, but Green Dragon is going very heavy into this very high stat stick build. Look at the power in his first 2 items alone, and unfortunately, it just doesn't seem like it's paying off for him.
Yeah, I mean, Thoth just got nerfed, so I'm not the hugest fan of it right now. Kind of expensive, doesn't give you a ton of power. But then the Doom Orb, it's just such an expensive item. Sure, they changed it from, percent pen to flat pen. They gave it a little bit more power, but it's just such an expensive item, and I just can't get behind it, especially in mid.
Yeah, it's in such a weird spot now, and I feel like for Green Dragon though, it's an item that is really good on Poseidon, but it just takes so long to get finished in the build that it doesn't feel great even after you've finished it. X-Ball gonna find out what an on her ult and an X-Ball ult feels like, and Nova Shark falls once again, or for actually take that back, falls for the first time here in this game. But the ADC being down, this looks like a good opportunity for a Gold Fury from Ice Age if they group up for it.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like a bad one, but they're just not in the area, and I mean, I can't blame them, You're 8k down. Losing one member doesn't make you stronger than the other team at this point, It's a tough game.
Gonna opt to chase down that solo laner. Will not be able to find that kill, unfortunately. For Ice Age, at least. Apple of Discord bounces back once more. No dash for the Terra, no steal either. And Vibe Tribe will find themselves another Gold Fury in this game. Teleporting over to that left side of the map is Ice Age, but just too little too late for them. So that Gold Fury is not going to be going into their pockets.
Yeah, no, and again, Vibe Tribe just pushing this lead, looking at about 8,000 at 21 minutes, definitely not insurmountable, but it's getting there, That lead is starting to be really impactful, 11,000 XP, 8,500 gold. You start to feel that pretty quickly.
Oh man, Profound Sock is just going on a world tour this game. He's been all over the world and finding a kill and just finding success everywhere that he goes. He's finally going to get stopped here, actually. Might be able to see a kill here. There's the Fear No Evil, uses the beads, jumps out of the cage.
That was just Magi's.
And Magi's, yeah.
To get away from that, yeah.
Actually, yeah, no beads. Magi's did get used there. Thank you for pointing that out. I actually didn't notice that. I forgot, that didn't even cross my mind that it was in the build there, even though I saw a bubble on him.
Yep.
So anyways, yeah.
There with the grace of bubble, simply, I'd rather not. Green continuing to go in a little bit of an interesting build, I get, you have the Trident with the poly auto. It feels nice, but it's just, not a build that's going to be doing a ton for your team. You don't have any cooldown for those crafts. It's just a weird build that I don't think he's getting enough value out of.
And what's more is that Poly is not the item I would have thought to go here, especially with these tanks being so far ahead. I was really expecting a Soul Reaver from him, but it's going to be an attempted steal, and Ice Age do get it away, so finally the build paying off, but it will cost him his life in the process unless his team can find a way out for him. No, they won't. Profound Sock finds that kill. Nova Shark finds Mammoth. Fear No Evil does bring 2 in, and a nice carpet will keep them in place a little bit longer. Odin will take some more damage. Hunbots uses the blink to escape, finally gets the jump off of cooldown, but they're still chasing this down. Profound Sock really wants Death the King, but no kill for him. Unable to find that, but still 2 down. This is a pretty good looking Gold Fury for them, and they're gonna, or not Gold Fury, Phoenix, that they're gonna try to take, knock down to half. Shell comes out, on her leaping in, looking at the Osiris. That's the wrong target, my friend. On her's really low now, and Profound Sock finds him another kill. 10-3 is the jungle of Vibe Tribe as that right side Phoenix goes down for Ice Age.
Yeah, right side Phoenix goes down, and they stagger those death timers pretty well. If they lost just one or two more members, it really could have been a Vibe Tribe, and even after Ice Age gets that Fire Giant steal, so Ice Age gonna have to play really defensively for quite a bit of time to be able to come back in this game. Gonna have to kind of nullify that deficit just by getting that 35-40 minute mark, and then they're gonna be able to start taking the fight to Vibe Tribe.
I want to start, doomsaying for Ice Age, but this game does look like it's spiraled way out of control too quickly for Ice Age to easily come back from. I mean, we're looking at the golden XP graphs. It's 14k XP, it's 10k gold, and it's all in the favor of Vibe Tribe. And I'm just going to use these words. I use these words carefully normally, but I'm just going to say it here. This looks like a bit of a draft diff.
Yeah, I mean, Vibe Tribe definitely had more of an early game in, if Ice Age was able to play, maybe a little bit more patiently, just play a little bit safer, just get their farm, give up what they needed to, and, not really get snowballed on, but that Camazotz pick really just kind of was their undoing, just did so much in the early game, allowed them to get to a good position, and just it's been looking so great, they just haven't been able to get their foot back in the game.
It's absolutely criminal that I just watched Profound Sock zone off the entirety of Ice Age while Osiris tanked the objective. That is ludicrous to me that I just got to witness that. Now Osiris going to walk into this T2, takes a little bit of damage from the tower, but not enough to make him feel like this is a bad decision. Meanwhile, Profound Sock is actually splitting that left side tower down. Takes some tower damage of his own, maybe just for funsies, not really sure, maybe just ahead of the minions there. Jump from the Camazotz will get him out of trouble. Nova Shark shows up just to make sure that his jungle isn't in a bad spot. Disco getting looked at right now, did get caught at Whirlpool, but not enough damage to him to concern him too much. Yet the King used that ultimate over there on the left side on her, falling very low after using that ultimate. He used the beads, but Big Blue doesn't care about beads whenever you're that close to death, and finds the kill with that Lord of the Afterlife. Terra falling very low. Big Blue finds a double kill. Looking at it, possibly a triple kill. It is a triple kill. Gonna turn his attention over to Hunbots, but doesn't have the health bar to stay in this one, so a triple kill is all he's gonna get, but it's all that his team needs from him. As this mid Phoenix gets looked at now. No Fire Giant required when you have a lead this massive. As Vibe Tribe starts walking into the base, Disco takes a ton of damage from that bird bomb. Ganesh doesn't have the health bar to tank this. Hunbots goes down to Profound Sock. Vivi finally gets a kill in this game onto Big Nick Energy, but it just too little too late. Odin is the only one left alive, and he cannot defend this Titan. Ice Age do not get this one in the bag with their late game composition. Vibe Tribe walking away 1-0 in this game.
Yeah, that's just it's a tough one. Ice Age has a really good late game draft, but it's just capitalized on by the Ice Age. They just say, okay, so all we need to do is get a lead early, and they're able to do that with some great plays out of the jungle. Gonna have to see what Ice Age comes up with next game. Maybe balance out some of their late game team fight with some early picks to be able to stay more competitive in the game. You don't have to be even going into the late game if you have a better scaling comp. You just have to be within the same ballpark.
And unfortunately, Ice Age, as you said, was unable to achieve that goal. We'll see what kind of adjustments are made though going into this next game. So to make sure you guys stick around for a little bit, will we bring you game 2 of this Ice Age versus Vibe Tribe Canes division. All right, everybody, we are back once again here in this Vibe Tribe versus Ice Age game. I'm still Freaky G. It's still Ruler of Men. Nothing's changed so far. Doesn't even look like the teams have swapped positions here. So, well, we saw how that game went, and draft dip was the words I used. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. Vibe Tribe knew what their strengths were and what they wanted to play to. I think that's a better way to put that. They understood their draft.
Mhm.
I need to do this. I gotta head here. Bing bang boom. I can get a victory.
Just very simply put and very simply played as well by Vibe Tribe. And it looks like Ice Age have made the adjustments necessary. Camazotz is the only ban that's been changed. Actually, no, Thanatos gets banned as well early on.
No,
And
I think Thanatos was banned as well.
he did get banned. He got banned in the second phase, which is where
Yeah, yeah.
I find it interesting that he is also banned by Vibe Tribe, not by Ice Age. So Camazot's taken off the board though here. Looks like Ice Age realized where a big part of that problem was, but Vibe Tribe respond with care and support.
Yeah, definitely could be support,
Oh,
could be
Karen
solo,
something.
could be mid. He's a strong god. He does a lot of things.
He does play. He
Interesting
does
man.
in fact. Yeah, he does in fact do plenty of different things in many different roles, and I think it's just a strong first pick because, like you said, the flexibility of this god is really increased. And to be honest, that the buff to the flat pin or the buff to those mage items, I think made this god just a little bit stronger as well.
Yeah, definitely not a slacker right now. Does kind of everything you want him to. Able to put up quite a bit of damage, quite a bit of CC with just a ton of survivability.
Look at the response here, though, from Ice Age, stepping away from that Odin selection, but they're going to grab two pretty good picks, in my opinion. As we talked about in that first game in the ban phase, Wukong was one of the bans from Ice Age, and now it's the pick. Nothing wrong with this one, though. He's, as we said, safe, survivable. He just plays solo lane.
Yeah, definitely can get a lot done. If you're able to hit those blink tiger stuns, you can do a lot of work. But you're not winning any awards out of solo either. So probably a comfort pick. Probably getting through. Pretty happy about that. Ganesha and Vamana picked up, and this is looking like a very scary, aggressive Vibe Tribe team. You have the Charon Mage, you have your Ganesha, you have your Vamana, maybe even Vamana Jungle. Who knows? So
Yeah.
gonna have to be on the lookout.
It's already shaping into what could be a triple frontline draft. It could even be more than that. It could be that Charon mid, as you already mentioned. And just the same, I mean, we're going to get to see Big Nick Energy, the unsung hero of game one, pilot this Ganesh again. We didn't really talk about this guy much, which is kind of a shame on our part because we were so focused on Profound Sock and how good he was doing. And props to him, he deserved it. But Big Nick Energy comes up pretty big in that game too. He gets really good Ganesh ults. He gets great silences on primary targets. This guy we didn't give any attention, and they're letting him have a pick that he was looked very comfortable on.
Yeah, definitely was doing some nice things in the background. Hard to see the light bulb next to the shining star, but it happens now. Supports are important. It's just hard to necessarily quantify what they do all the time. Sometimes even just standing there menacingly is enough peel. So always a weird one to be able to say, yeah, the support's really good because he did this and this. They're his plays. That's what make him important.
Indeed. And bans come through on her X Ball, taken away from the carry of Ice Age. Susan and Daji also ripped away from the jungle. So no hard carry selections going over to Profound Sock this time. But what I find more interesting than all of that, Hoi Yi gets locked in for Ice Age.
Yeah, Hoi, very interesting one. is only sometimes relevant when you have that crit meta, his passive allowing him a couple seconds in between getting crit, so able to box out those crit hunters. But we're in this pen meta where everybody's building, the mannequins into full pen, into Titan's Bane, where crit is just kind of an afterthought. But with this Mercury hover, might be a little bit more of a reality there. Might have inadvertently given the other team a bad matchup in that regard. So gonna
Yeah.
have to be a little bit careful on that Merc pick.
We did kind of overlook something in the first pick phase too that I want to mention. It's that Agni selection right there that just made it through. Was banned, I believe, in the last phase of game one, game phase two, going over to Ice Age. This is a pick that it's not even quiet. This is a pick that has really found success in the recent update.
Yeah, I mean, he was already a pretty decent god before, able to just throw out a bunch of damage, even throw out some, annoying bomb stuns from pretty long range. So able to do a lot. And now that, he isn't just fodder every time he uses that ultimate, he's very strong right now. I don't know if I would put him in like the top 5, but if you're comfortable on Agni, now is a pretty good time to play him.
Absolutely. And Ice Age looking to finish off their draft here, hovering this Ares pick. And I got to ask because it seems relevant to me. Is this the pick you really want to go right now into a composition that has 5 CC immunities?
They have 4, right?
5
Charon,
Mercury ult.
Ganesha isn't. Ganesha
Oh,
doesn't have
yeah.
CC immunity.
Okay, okay, yeah. Well, okay. So 4 CC immunities. I mean, I misspoke there. That's my bad.
Yeah, certainly not the pick I would look for. Gonna have to be able to pull those ults out. Going to have to be able to pull those beads, and I don't really see anybody else being able to pull those beads while those ults are down. Oh yeah, maybe he hits a nice stun. Maybe Agni hits some bomb stuns, but you don't have anything high priority to pair with that Ares, especially with those CC immune ultimates. So gonna have a hard time finding value on that pick.
Yeah, it's going to be a struggle, and I think that's mainly what we're going to see this Ares do is just manage to pull some CC immune ults off of primary targets. Maybe pull this Ganesh in, which wouldn't be a bad target, I think, for Ice Age to look towards. It's a early game, he's going to not be the tankiest thing on the map. Supports, always playing from behind. Means that they can be an ideal target if you have the burst and the shred to take them down in that early portion. But I agree though. This Ares pick just it doesn't resonate with me at all.
Yeah, definitely a tough pick, at least in my opinion, and definitely could look to prioritize that Ganesha, like you're talking about. Doesn't have the CC immunity, isn't going to be as large as a solo laner or a jungler. Gonna be relatively easy to kill. Especially Ganesha. You get a pull, you block his dash, he's not going anywhere. So could definitely see that being a strategy they employ. Look for some nice early picks onto Big Nick Energy, get him down, and then kind of snowball from there. As you're missing a frontliner, can't step up as much as you want to. Can certainly impact the way you want to play the fights.
So while we're getting into these final moments before the game starts, I gotta ask the clear and obvious question: which of these teams do you think takes this game here, just based on what we're seeing right now? Does Vibe Tribe finally take this one up and end it in a 2-0, or does Ice Age bring us to a game 3?
I mean, like just looking at the drafts, I have to give it to Vibe Tribe. Sure, they have the interesting pick with Charon ADC, but it is what it is. I think that they just have a more cohesive draft, and they're able to do a little bit more of what they want in those fights. They have a kind of a plan, whereas Ice Age seems kind of all over the place with their picks. You have Agni, but nobody else to capitalize on those beads being burnt. So definitely gonna have to see Ice Age have a lot of execution to be able to pull off what they want to pull off.
Well, we're going to find out if that execution is going to be enough for them as we start this game 2 between Vibe Tribe and Ice Age. And Ruler, First thing I'm seeing right off the bat, Ares is going to be going for that Aura style build. He's got that Watcher's Gift, Sentinel's Gift, excuse me, old name. Still can't get rid of it. Stuck. And as you said, it's Charon ADC, but I'm pretty sure it's going to just be a mage in the duo lane.
Yeah, I mean, definitely unorthodox, but I've certainly seen, similar picks work, Assassins can work in that role, Not even ones like Set where, they have good clear, they're gonna get in there. But like you can just play some wacky stuff, We've seen things like Susano mid where I don't need to clear the wave, I'm just going to look for kills on you, so definitely not a crazy pick there.
Watching that laning phase there at the very beginning of the game just opened my eyes to something very interesting as well. We actually didn't even mention it, but they picked this Ares into the Ganesh, and like right there, once again, just no lane clear presence, but it doesn't seem to affect them too much because even though Hui's not the greatest hunter for clearing wave, Charon is probably a little bit worse, right?
Yeah, Charon, especially in the early game, your abilities don't quite do as much damage as you might like. You definitely struggle with that early game clear. You get that turn of fate from Ganesha. Give yourself a little bit of extra power, but it's a tough lane for both teams. You're in areas, but you're not allowed to use chains. Even if you breathe, you have Ganesha silence, or you have Charon 1, so not able to get a lot done with that Ares. It's very, very tough lane for him to play in. You're sitting there like, man, I want to press buttons, man.
Jungle's making their rotation over to the solo or to the dual lane, excuse me. It looks like they both caught each other out, which means everyone on this side of the map is aware of both their presence. But Ganesh or Robin, undeterred, gonna look at the Ganesh, catches the dash. Ares falls low though. Mercury doesn't connect his one though either, but throws that Ares back with a very skillful dash on his part. Dash for the root. Huiyi is gonna have to use the beads to try to save his support, but unfortunately, Profound Sock is gonna try and carry this game over where he left off that first blood going to the jungle of Vibe Tribe.
Yeah, and just able to get it done, weaves whatever he needs to, weaves his thread there, just able to get that correct dash onto Mammoth and able to get that first kill, and that's not what you want to see, Merc getting that first kill. He's already, gotta be getting closer and closer to building that rage, and if this game is anything like the last game, he's gonna get a couple early kills, and it's going to be very hard to put this Mercury down.
Well, I think one thing for Ice Age that they can look forward to is that their draft is not so heavily scaled to the late game this time. Agni gets online a lot faster, especially depending on the build you go, of course, than a Poseidon does, in my opinion. At least, and especially in the Department of Safety. I think Agni is much safer just because he has a dash. Death the King also on Robin this time isn't waiting for that level 5, isn't even waiting for that level 20. He will be pretty relevant throughout all stages of the game. So something that Ice Age can at least, put some hope on, right?
Yeah, definitely didn't put all of their eggs into one basket this time. You have in ADC, they're gonna scale regardless. I mean, it's a Houyi. He's gonna hit late game. Same with Ares. You hit late game. You're doing a bunch of damage with chains and fire breath. You're hitting some ults to force out relics or ults. Get a lot done for sure. So definitely like they've diversified their draft a little bit.
A little bit of play off the map there. Kind of puts Charon in a bad position. The Meteor knocking him towards the enemy. Ultimate's going to come out, only pulls in Ganesha like we talked about before. But they're going to turn their attention to him. Auto attacks and ultimate raining down onto the Ganesh with no dash. And Low for Life will find his kill, but not before Profound Sock with a massive ultimate to take down the ADC of Ice Age. Low for Life finds one, but loses his own in the process.
Yeah, unfortunately, Ganesha choosing what I would consider the wrong relic there, goes for the shell, but realistically, like, looking at the other team, how good does a sprint look? It looks insane,
Very.
right? You know,
Oh yeah.
you're getting out of that stun breaker. You're getting away from the Ares chains. You're getting away from the Raven slow. You're getting away from the Sun Wukong slow. You know, there's a lot of slows on that team, and I
Hmm.
think that sprint is very underutilized. You know, we see a lot of these heavy slow teams that just you don't get that sprint against. You don't get that winged blade, and you just see people get walked down, and then you're like, shell doesn't help you there, but sprint does.
Yeah, and not to mention, if we're talking about slows, one of the biggest counters to horrific is sprint. What's
Hmm.
because I mean the 40% slow is pretty massive, but if you can't be slowed, you just wasted a relic for a relic,
Yeah.
bud.
In what relic gets built every game? It's
Horrific.
horrific. So
Very
I think
interesting.
you see where I'm getting, dude. Like
Oh yeah.
sprint is such a good relic because it counters out that, but also gives a pretty good buff. They added the effects of the frenzy onto sprint.
Hmm.
Something that a lot of people I don't think realize. It
Yeah,
is
that
that
gives you.
super aggressive relic gives you the ability to get away from teams, the ability to get into teams. So I think that definitely underutilized. Ares getting poked out here. That's just kind of what happens. You're stuck in front of a Ganesha. There's a Medusa autoing you down, and Hunters in mid lane. I love them.
Yeah, they've been looking really strong as of late. I mean, even before this patch, they were still really relevant. And seeing Libra go to this pick, I normally I would be like, man, we probably could have seen this Medusa go over to the left lane, even if you are doing the ability based build. But I kind of like the idea that Vibe Tribe have brought with them with this. I wouldn't say the word I'm not looking for is composition, but position of these characters. Simply put a Charon in the long lane. He's a little easier for him to farm, harder to gank. And Medusa also can do pretty well in the mid lane for the same reasons. She's not the easiest character to gank if she can get that dash, and if you do catch that, that ultimate can relieve some stress off that character as well. So maybe just the position of these characters was pretty well thought out.
Yeah, definitely. Interesting positioning, but these unorthodox picks, they aren't practiced against. Where's your experience dealing with Charon ADC? It's
Oh yeah.
non-existent. That's something that those unorthodox picks can go really hard because people don't know how to counter them. You pull out Bologna ADC and the other guy is just sitting on his hands. Like, this is torture. She just disarms me. She walks up with block stacks and she just whips me like I'm a child. Bend you over to
48.
me, hit you with the paddle.
Looking like he might fall. He's gonna hide behind this tier 1 so the ultimate from the Mercury doesn't connect. But that TKO means a lot to the Charon, even though he's backing.
Yeah, Merc really wanted that kill. He's got the rage. He's like, man, I'd love a rage stack right now. Ravana putting out quite a bit of damage, but should be able to get away. No issues there.
Likely waiting for that dash. There it is. And he will walk out just a little scarred, bruised, even. And I mean, I feel like that's what we're going to see a lot of this match. I don't think we're going to see enough hard commitments onto anybody. It's just a difficult situation for everybody. The laning phase over here for this Charon, obviously, we talked about not going to be this. It's not going to be the fastest. He's not going to be able to outclear Hoi. Crazy, I know. Raven and Mercury high pressure jungles. You're going to be aware of that at all times if you're at least have a small amount of map awareness. And then this situation right here, ultimate does come through though from the Mercury to try and pick something up, like you said, looking for those rage stacks. But chains means no dash, and no dash means no hard commit onto anybody again. Playing very smart, both the supports of Ice Age and Vibe Tribe. They're really balancing each other out here.
Yeah, definitely. Really good chain coming out from Mammoth. I think that if he doesn't hit that chain, he just dies. Merc throws him right back into the Dharmic pillars. He gets more of his Parats shredded. He's slowed and just gets eviscerated there. So great play from him to be able to, hit those chains under pressure.
Raven over here in the left lane. Gonna try and find a sneaky little kill onto the Charon again. He's gonna use the ultimate here. Kickflip over said ultimate and a root on the dash, but he uses the beads to get out. Finally getting something off of the Charon. Gonna be an opportunity in this lane for the next, I don't know, at least 90 seconds, however long that ultimate is, for that cooldown, for them to make a play over here.
Yeah, pretty long ultimate timer and used very well too. You
Mhm.
know, something that a lot of people, don't remember. It gives a speed boost when you're behind the wave.
Mhm.
It allows you to get out, and I think that that's the only reason Low for Life wasn't able to, hit that stun to, kind of secure that kill. He was moving too fast. He got
He's
on
too.
the speed boots,
He turned the motor on. I can't catch him.
turned himself into a speedboat instead of a rowboat.
Very slow-paced game here, but in this situation, I feel like that really plays into Ice Age's favor. You want
No,
this game to slow
other way
down.
around.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah,
Well,
no.
yeah,
Vibe Tribe
actually,
has such a stronger team fight.
yeah,
They have such good tools in those team fights that
they do
Ice
have
Age
that
is really
Mercury
gonna
too.
struggle. They have Mercury who's gonna scale really hard. They have Vamana, Charon, Ganesha, and Medusa ults for fights where your big team fight ult is Ares and Sunbreaker from Ho Yi. So it's gonna be really tough for Ice Age to compete in those later fights if Vibe Tribe is playing correctly.
Actually, now that you mention it, Ice Age did draft a late game composition. All the characters do perform in that situation, but Vibe Tribe also do. But they draft just a better late game draft.
Yeah, definitely. Ice Age, have some good tools in that early game. Robin really strong in the early, Ares really strong in the early, Sun Wukong pretty good in the early, pretty good in the mid, but don't have the scaling that Vibe Tribe has necessarily, and Ice Age isn't also able to get their picks online as much as they'd like to at this early game.
Vivi may have found himself in the worst place possible. Dash got caught by that dash from Mercury as well. Ultimate's going to come out, connects onto the Sun Wukong down to 50%, but bird form comes off of cooldown. So he'll be able to walk out of that one no problem, or fly, I should say. But does leave him open to this right here, a blue buff invade, and he is able to steal that through the Agni too. But he may have put himself in his own bad position as Wukong continues to chase him through the jungle. But I'm just faster than you, says Mercury. Oh, Beacon actually got pulled not long ago either, and it looks like it was over onto Ice Age, but Vivi goes down. That's the 4th kill in this game. Vibe Tribe up 3-1, and holding on to a small bit of a gold lead off of that.
Yeah, sitting at right around 1,000. Do like Vibe Tribe saying, maybe we don't have the members here to, defend this beacon. So instead, we're gonna go to solo and, secure up this kill, make sure our teammates don't fall, and that's a good way for them to just play the map.
Agni looking like a pretty strong pick here for Ice Age, though. 0-0 and 0. Not an ideal scoreline, but definitely one you're happy with considering you spent all that time at least getting the farm that's available to you.
Yeah, definitely doing a lot better on this than the Poseidon. I think at this point he was probably like 0-5 or something. Having a really tough game, just kind of getting ran down. So definitely doing better for him this game.
Looks like it. Ganesh getting caught out by the Ares chains. Mercury also becoming a prime target. Ganesh ult, though, is going to stall the engagement just a little bit, meaning Ganesh takes some poke on the way out. Massive damage right there onto the Robin as well with that one from Merc.
Yeah, Merc already has, the rage with one stack. He's got the Deathbringer. He's hitting like a truck for sure. And as soon as, he buys maybe a little bit of pen, he's going to be just doing some insane damage.
Libra stepping up to do some damage. Can't connect the auto attacks though, so instead just takes some poke back. Looking like they're trying to find their own way into this game. Up 1 kill at least on Green Dragon, but very quiet game from these mid laners in both of these games.
Yeah, definitely not seeing anything too crazy come out. Definitely much more relaxed pace, and that works to Vibe Tribe's favor. Again, we see Merc. He has a pretty substantial lead. 2 levels already, getting a lot of work done, and we also see Death the going for the Erendite second item, and I'm really not a fan. It's a
No?
big investment early. It's a lot of gold, and you're already behind. You can't
Yeah.
afford that big of an investment for something that's more of a snowball item. You know, that's an item where you're playing Pele. Oh, yep, I got 3 early kills. I have a lead. I'm gonna build this and just snowball. And it's just not the position you want to be building the item in.
Maybe it's just me favoring the item itself, but hear me out. I'm cooking a little bit here. Robin kind of likes that Soul Eater, doesn't he? And that's 50 power as well now with the recent buff. Why not go that and just stack it up instead of this gold investment? Because I'm pretty sure it's a much cheaper item, isn't it?
I don't think it's maybe a couple hundred. I mean, Erendite's one of those really expensive items. I think Soul Eater.
Soul Eater, I think, is about
like
23.
21. I think it's like. Is that cheap? I can't remember anything now. My brain is foggy.
I think
it's just an item I never build because I'm not a huge fan of it.
That's fair. So I think it's like 22.50, maybe 23. Not entirely sure myself. But either way, it just seems like it would be a better investment. Even though you have to stack the item, it stacks as you farm much faster than most stacking items, at least in the past. It depends on where you build your stacking item as to the speed it stacks anymore.
Yeah, 2250 compared to 2600.
There you go.
A couple hundred gold cheaper, but that's just a really expensive build from Def. We see him get that Jotun's Glyph. We see him get that Erendite. He's put a lot of money in those first 2 items, whereas Mert is almost a full item ahead.
So I guess the question I should be asking you though is why not Soul Eater though?
I don't like the item. It just doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel great. There's a lot of items that you want in your build.
Yeah.
You want your Jotuns. You maybe want a Transcendence so you can go into a little bit more hybrid. Maybe you want that Erendite. There's just a lot of items that are competing for space, and Soul Eater doesn't do any of them the best. Yeah, sure, it gives you good sustain, but it's not a huge power item. It's not a huge cooldown item. It just doesn't fit the slots that you need.
Definitely some arguments for and against it, but something we will worry about if we ever see it come up. Beacon being looked at once again. Ice Age were able to get the last beacon, but Vibe Tribe are not going to let this second beacon go so easily this time. Robin over the wall with the Mystic Rush, but doesn't connect onto any targets. Iree's going to go up into the air, try and pull somebody, but only manages to pull the Ganesh. Also trapping the Ares inside said ultimate. He's getting beat on by every one of the Vibe Tribe members. Huge stun, though, onto every one of Vibe Tribe. Profound Sock finds Mammoth. Big Nick Energy also went down in that fight. Ice Age are still maintaining positioning here. Robin falling very low, and Nova Shark will finally weave the abilities through to find the damage now. Puyi also getting tossed back, but Agni coming in with so many of these massive bomb stuns to help this team at least get out of this poor situation.
Yeah, definitely big plays from Green Dragon there. Puts out just a ton of damage with those bombs like you were talking about. Does a lot of work, but Vibe Tribe not going to fall to that, and looks like they're going to pull this Gold Fury, and with crit Merc plus a Medusa mid, going to be able to burn this down very quickly.
Nobody on Ice Age even considering stopping this from happening either, and for good reason. I mean, there's just no way that Ice Age realistically steal this. Oh, looks like an attempt at a punish, but Low for Life just barely off the mark with his 1.
So I'm pretty sure he used his 3 to get out of base and it wasn't up yet.
Oh,
that's so sad.
He's so low.
Purple buff had hands.
Hasn't finished that lifesteal item yet either, so a little bit of a tough spot for the Mercury in this. But he's level 18, so not too concerned about what these camps are going to do to him, it seems, although Purple buff did look like it was going to take him. So
those camps hurt when you're at low health. They can smell the blood in the water for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're about to die? Well, let me do something about that. So Vibe Tribe with a much more substantial lead right now. 19 minutes in, we're seeing them with a just about 3K gold lead, 25 at most, 25.
Definitely not crazy, but again, they have that Merc that's scaling really hard, and just an overall stronger fight comp. I really struggle to see, how Ice Age is going to, turn this back and be able to take it, Are they going to have to play really well around those objectives, find a steal or two, find a good fight? It's just a hard one for me to say, oh yeah, here's what they can do to get back in this game.
Vishart falling very low, tries to use the ultimate to see if he can find some more damage and maybe even save his own life, but not possible. Vibe Tribe, though, in the meantime, find a Wukong who wanted to try and steal away a Pyromancer, but no real attempt there, and almost loses his life as well. Robin coming around the backside, trying to find some damage onto the Medusa. Mercury still here. Ganesh gets in front of the 3 from Robin, catching that for the mid laner, excuse me. Libra will finally fall, and Big Blue finds a kill onto Vivi as well, solo laner for mid laner, and Big Blue finding another kill onto Death the King. I didn't even realize he was still in that fight. So a two-swing fight for Vibe Tribe once again without the help of their ADC.
Yeah, definitely not a bad looking fight. Neither ADCs are there, and able to swing out 1 for 2, and again, just strong team fights. You're fighting in the Dharmic Pillars, you're fighting against Big Baby with that Colossal Fury. There's just a lot going on in those fights that you have to be aware of.
Mercury finds himself another quick and simple kill. Rage fully stacked as well. Didn't even need the crit for that one. I think one punch would have done it no matter what the damage was there. But in the same vein, Low for Life was able to take that tier 2 tower in response to that Pyromancer that was taken by Vibe Tribe. So keeping that gold lead a little even for them at the very least.
Yeah, definitely, not letting it go too crazy. Did kick up from, about 2,500 to about 4K now off the back of that Pyromancer in, decent fight, and, definitely going well for them here. Vibe Tribe still, keeping the pedal on the gas, even if, they aren't ready to, stomp on it.
So something that comes to mind now after we watched that fight, no ADC available for them. ADCs weren't involved either way on either team. But if that's what your 4v4 looks like if you're Ice Age, what does the 5v5 look like, and what are your targets and your strategy in these engagements to maybe try and take the edge in the next fight?
I mean, they were able to, get a nice pick on Libra there before it unfortunately turned around. And, maybe they have to knock out this Ramana. Maybe they have to be able to get away from it. But, no sprint, purchase from the Ares. So, no slow immunity from those Dharmic Pillars. Gonna struggle to get away from those team fights.
Libra once again being looked at. Solo laner tries to get the stun, but uses the ultimate to get out of that situation and actually gets away with their life in this one. Vaughn now being turned on by the other 3 members of Ice Age. Good stun, or good blocks. Good block from the Ganesh, excuse me. Vaughn gonna finally go up into the ultimate to try and see if he can turn this one around with the help of his support. Robin falling down to about 50%. Mercury's got that ult on charge. Ares falling low to the Dharmic Pillars, and Profound Sock will take that first kill in this fight onto Mammoth. Wukong up in the air. He's going to use that as an attempt to escape. Mercury uses the ultimate to close the distance onto the Hou Yi, though, and he gets turned around on by the 2 divers of Ice Age, and meaning everyone will back off of this one. Bauman's going to TP back in. Wukong tried to stop that by tearing down the ward, but it does not matter because he's still going to find a way out of there. But Vibe Tribe will confirm another beacon.
Yeah, definitely a close fight, and I was really doubting the med on the Ganesha from Big Nick Energy. Was definitely didn't get to say it, but I was certainly thinking like, I don't really like that. But able to use that in conjunction with Big Blue using that Colossal Fury really allowed him to survive. As Ice Age just walks up and steals that. Agni Bomb's OP.
That is a very interesting situation from Vibe Tribe. And I'm a little disappointed in them. I'm not going to lie. That shouldn't happen in any stretch of the imagination, in my opinion. You don't have the hardest secure. Yeah, but I mean, this is going to end up being another death for Hou Yi, I believe. Waiting on that dash to come out, he's going to definitely stick to him. So only a matter of time.
You can't crit him. It takes a while, but just not able to do that out. You know, if crit was the meta and Hou had crit, I'm pretty sure he wins that fight with the amount of autos he was landing. But that pen build just doesn't do the damage you want it to against squishies.
Even if he's only critting once every 3 seconds, that one crit from Mercury could be enough to knock you down to 50% in one auto anyways. So definitely the advantage in Profound Sock's favor. But back to what I was talking about. The reason I say that should never happen in Vibe Tribe's situation, simply just not being aware of the map. There's a word I'm looking for that I can't actually put on my tongue. Map presence. There's no ward coverage really giving them any vision. You've got to have somebody out there scoping the place out. It may be Profound Sock at the very least because he can kill that Agni, but it just seems like it was a good call, but very poorly played on Vibe Tribe's part. But they're going to try and make up for it, though, with this Fire Giant.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a tough one, you know. Whoever was tanking it was really low health, you know. It was either Big Nick or Nova Shark. I wasn't entirely sure who was tanking it, but, you know, they got incredibly low there, and they were kind of forced to say, no, we need to be able to burn this really quick and then get away. It just doesn't go their favor, you know. Not able to zone out because they don't have the health to continue tanking it.
So something I overlooked there then. Vibe Tribe posturing on Fire Giant. Meanwhile, Vaughn split pushing that mid tower has the Axe of Animosity online now, so these tower split pushes from the Soul Lander should be pretty simple for him. Vibe Tribe maintaining the aggressive positioning on the Fire Giant as well, even in a 4v5 scenario. Karen Holt's going to come out, connects onto 3 members of Ice Age, and it looks like that's the go button as they turn their attention over to the Hou Sun. The 9 Suns are dropping, means that all of Vibe Tribe will now start to back off. Ultimate from Ganesh comes out just for that CC immunity off of that wonderful pickup of Absolution there. Robin is here to try and stop this split push onto the Phoenix, knocked down to 50%, and he's going to go up into the ultimate just to guarantee himself this Phoenix. But now, realizing he's in a much more hairy situation, as 2 members of Ice Age are here to defend this. But with that being said, there should be a complete and utter call of Fire Giant from Vibe Tribe in this 4v5 scenario. It's not, though. It's a 4v3. It's a 3v3, but finally Mercury shows up, trying to find some damage. Big Blue finds Death the King on the other side of the map. Ganesh takes some poke, but he's okay with that because they're going to try and re-engage off this ultimate from the Charon. Low for Life finds a kill. Green Dragon goes down to Libra, and now it's only the Wukong left. Oh no, that was a clone. I got duped. Either way, 2 members dead on Ice Age means that this is a very difficult Fire Giant for Ice Age to contest.
I gotta respect man with, you know, sitting there to steal it, but you're not out securing, you know, a single Merc auto. Never mind.
Vibe Tribe gonna be able to confirm this through the flames of the Ares. Hou is here. Will go down very soon after. Ares got caught on those Dharmic Pillar lines. That slow is going to be more than enough. And Libra going to finally come back from that quiet early game, 4-1-3 in a matter of seconds after that Fire Giant pull.
Yeah, you know, Ice Age, you know, you just had to give that Fire Giant up. You know, you can't afford to be just losing all of these members, looking for a little bit more, you know. You don't want the other team to have Fire Giant, but it's better for them to have Fire Giant and for you to have, you know, 5 members than for them to have Fire Giant and for, you know, 3 of you guys to be dead.
Tribe are going to take their time, though. So it looks like those members that did fall will be back up for the defense. Mercury, way too far up, has to use the Aegis, but it's not going to be enough. Death the King gets the shutdown onto Profound Sock, 5-0, now 5-1. But Vibe Tribe will not risk any more than that, and they're going to let Vibe Tribe take over this beacon here.
Yeah, definitely getting a little bit too big for his britches. Profound Sock saying, yeah, I'm gonna start, you know, invading this red, invading this yellow, and
oh my god,
has to pay the price for it.
Wukong knocked down to 50% just from Karen damage alone. Insane. And Vivi has the ultimate and doesn't even bother using it. Knows he's going down. Charon gonna start pushing the go button for his team. Ganesh gonna take that I don't remember what it's called, but the 2 from Hou Yi. means he's going to take some more auto damage, gets poked out a little bit. Meanwhile, Vaughn this entire time has been taking down this left side Phoenix on his own. Bomb gets dropped onto the mid Phoenix, and the Nine Suns drop once again. Harry's going to try and pull those people back in, but CC Immunity reigns through to keep them from going anywhere but where they want to be. Robin falling low, trying to find some damage, but Libra will find it in response. Aries going to fall very quickly after, and this mid Phoenix will go down because only Agni remains to try and take down these 4 strong members of Vibe Tribe. No end game call though yet. Maybe actually, as 2 members walk forward. Agni down to about 50%. Gonna go back into his fountain and probably gonna call off this Titan call.
I'm definitely able to put a little bit of damage into it. You know, if they were able to pick Green Dragon there, could have definitely been an end call, you know, just Vivi for the next 20 seconds. Should have been able to, you know, secure them out, but, you know, Green has both of his relics. He's Agni, he's playing safe. There's no real end call there, so good on Vibe Tribe to realize that.
Mercury clapping his hands over here in the right lane as they try and look at the last remaining Phoenix for Ice Age. 4 members strong on this right side. Vaughn returns to base, but should be teleporting back in at any moment now. There he is. Looks like that's going to be the moment that these guys take the siege.
Yeah, definitely. You know, they have those waves in mid pushing, those waves in left pushing. They have those fire waves that need to be dealt with, and you know, should be able to take this 4v5 on the Phoenix.
Karen ult comes through once again, connects onto 1. And now Ares pulling that ultimate again, but just doesn't pull anybody once more. Big Blue takes down Low for life. The Nine Suns doing some damage and just pushing everyone off, but it only lasts for a moment as Profound Sock takes down Mammoth. 3 members of Ice Age dead. Wukong, one of the only remaining members left alive. Robin diving in, trying to help his solo laner, but may have cost him his life if he can't make it back to the fountain. They said, never mind, we don't care about you. We care about the end game overall. Titan gone so fast I can't even announce its hit point totals. And just as we predicted on the desk, Ruler, Vibe Tribe take it home in 2-0 fashion.
Yeah, definitely. They just had a really good draft that they knew how they wanted to play, you know. It's a little unorthodox. Yeah, sure, you can pick some more meta gods, but they said we want to run it down, and they picked some good gods to do it, you know. They have the Merc, the Charon, the Medusa, the Vamana. And they even have the Ganesha, you know, being able to get aggressive with those Dharmic pillars, but also gives them an ounce of safety if the game, you know, starts to swing away from them. So able to just put up a good draft there and pilot it exactly how they want to.
Yeah, and that's just kind of that's just kind of what it comes down to. I do not know why I am tripping over my words so much. Thank God it's almost over, right? And anyways, yeah, it just exactly how they wanted it to play out, unorthodox or not. It was a very well put together game from Vibe Tribe, and that's why they get to maintain their position outside of the gauntlet. Thankfully for them, Ice Age unable to play spoilers here, meaning that Gunshow Shoguns also will remain in that bottom 3. There will be another opportunity next week, I believe, for these teams, at least one of these teams, to climb out of the gauntlet. But for now, in week 8, those are your 3 teams going to the gauntlet in Kane's divisions: Killer Kappas, Vibe Tribe, and Gunshow Shoguns. So bit of a tough match for Ice Age. I said the wrong word. I meant Ice Age, not Vibe Tribe. So, with that being said, we'll go ahead and close this one up here. I'm Freaky G, and I was joined, of course, here by Ruler of Men, Deacon, also joining us here on the cast to do some wonderful spectating work for us. And thank you all for joining us here tonight as well. Make sure y'all join us here tomorrow night for another game between Baba's Kitchen and Cyberpunk Otter's Walker division at 7 o'clock. So until then, we will see you guys tomorrow.